Good morning, friends. So today we are going to discuss about the topic of routing, and we are going to see the routing procedure. After that we are going to see the route sheet also. So we have seen the functions of the PPC. So we have a planning phase in the prior planning, then we have a active planning. So in the active planning, so we have a process planning and routing. So this is the routing. So in the primary related to the production planning, so the stages in the production planning control, we have a routing, sequencing, scheduling, dispatching and follow up. So the first one is the routing related to the production planning. So the routing is the first step in the production planning control. So the first step will be the routing. So routing means, so as the process of deciding the path, routing can be defined as the process of deciding the path of the work and the sequence of operations. So here the routing means, so the deciding the path of the work and the sequence of operation. So in short, so routing determines what, how much, with, which, how, where to produce, how much to produce, what to produce, which machines are going to use, which persons we are going to use, where we are going to produce. So like that, so in the sequence of operations, so what we are going to produce, where to we are going to produce, how much we are going to produce, which type of machines we are going to use for making the for production, so how much we are going to produce. So these all under the category of the routing. So in simple words, a routing is a sequence of operations, a route deciding the path of the work and the sequence of operations, path of the work and sequence of operations. So this is about the routing means. So the first step of production planning control, even in the second stage also that routing will be there. So in the routing means path of the work and sequence of operations. Now we are going to see the advantages. So once we are know the routing procedure, so what are the benefits or objectives or applications? Now we are going to see the advantages. Routing gives a very systematic method for converting raw material into the finished goods. So systematic method, routing means a very accurate planning will give the best result, will give the good result. So proper planning will lead to the good result. So routing is a very systematic method of converting raw material into finished goods. In the production, so it will be transition from raw material to the final product. Production means, so it will be transition or transferring from the raw material to final product. So the routing gives, the proper planning gives, so very good results. Proper planning gives very good results. So routing gives a very systematic method. So it leads to smooth and efficient work. It leads to smooth and efficient work. So it will be utilizing all the resources. It leads to optimum utilization of resource, namely men, machines, material. So all the M's should be utilization maximum. Utilization of the resources should be maximum by using the routing procedure. So it will be leads to the division of labor. It ensures a continuous flow of material without any backtracking. So the inventory utilization of inventory materials also, it will be, so the routing will be under the inventory also. So in the inventory is stock of material, continuous flow of material without any deviation. So these are the advantages of the routing. So it will give smooth and efficient work, optimum utilization of the resources, maximum utilization of the resources. It will be a division of labor will be there. It ensures the continuous flow of material without any backtracking. So that means the production material purchasing department also will be buying the material, raw material at the correct time. So these are the advantages. Then it saves the time and space. Proper planning or routing, it saves the time and space. It saves the time and space. So it makes the work easy for the production engineers and foremen. So the routing procedure, it makes the work easy for the production engineers and foremen. It has a great influence on design of factory building and installed machines. So these are the advantages. So now we'll move to procedure of routing. steps involved in the routing procedure, or steps or procedure for the routing procedure. So the first, we need to analyze the product. Product analyze, determine what to manufacture and purchase. So product analysis is done again to determine material required for the production, fix the manufacturing operations and their sequence, decide the number of units to be manufactured in each lot of production, estimate the margin of scrap in each lot of production, analyze the product cost, prepare the production control forms for effective routing, prepare a separate route sheet for each order. So these are the steps involved in the routing procedure, or factors affecting the routing procedure. Now we are going to see in detail about this routing procedure. First step will be analysis, product analysis. Product analysis determine what to manufacture and where to purchase. What to manufacture and what to purchase. So first one is the product analysis. So the first step in the routing procedure, that is about product analysis. So this is done to find out what parts should be manufactured, and what parts should be purchased. So this depends upon mainly on the relative cost. So first we need to understand the product. So what are the subcomponents, what are the main components, what are the assembled components. We need to estimate all the components. What are the main important components, subcomponents, extra components. Like that we need to estimate the entire product. So after the product analysis, after that, what components we are going to purchase, or what component we are going to make in our company, our own company. So that make or buy decisions, what we call it, make or buy decisions, that very very important. Make or buy decisions. What subcomponents we are going to produce, or what components we are going to buy, what components we are going to produce in our own institution or own company. Sometimes make or buy decisions, sometimes it will be helpful, sometimes it will be advantageous, it will be profited. Some components will be produced some components will be buying on the other than our organization. So for example, Mahindra engine will be there. So that carburetor or a fuel injection pump, fuel injection example of this, I'm telling the example. So in the Mahindra engine, that fuel injection pump will be bought from the other vendors, like a Solex fuel injection pump, FIP. That fuel injection pump, another subcomponent. That subcomponent will be bought from another organization. We are not producing in our organization. That will be buying from the other. So sometimes it will be advantageous, it will be profitous. So make or buy decisions very very important. So this is done to find what parts we are going to manufacture, what parts should be manufactured, and what parts should be purchased. What components we are going to purchase within the organization, or what components we are going to purchase, what components we are going to produce in our organization. So this is the complete product analysis, make or buy decisions. So this is done to find what parts we are going to manufacture and what parts should be purchased. So this depends mainly on the relative cost. So I already told, it depends mainly on the relative cost. So how much time it will be taking, how much cost will be taking for that product purchasing or making. So we need to analyze. So we need to analyze the product, so that make or buy decisions depends mainly on the relative cost. It also depends on the other factors such as a technical consideration. So listen, so it will be another factors will be influencing make or buy decisions. So that is technical consideration, purchase policies, availability of personnel, availability of equipment. So in generally during less busy periods, most of the parts are manufactured in the factory. So during less busy periods, most of the parts are manufactured in the factory. However, during the most busy period, many parts are purchased from the outside. So this is about one of the important factor, that is about make or buy decisions. we need to estimate the complete product analysis. So this is an important step in the routing procedure. So that during busy period many parts are purchased from the outside, so it will be advantageous. So we need to estimate the product, that is the first step. Then second, so determine the required material. So after product analysis is done, again we need to determine the required materials. So product analysis done again to find out what materials are required for the production and their quantity and quality. So very important. So after the complete analysis of the product, so we need to find out what materials are required for the production and their quantity and quality. After that, so we need to maintain sufficient quantity, sufficient stock, sufficient inventory for the without any breakage of the production. We need to maintain sufficient quantity of material and quality of the material. So after the product analysis is done, so we need to maintain sufficient quantity of the quality of the materials. After that, in the routing procedure, we need to fix the manufacturing operations. So the next step in the routing procedure is to fix or decide the manufacturing operations and their sequence. We need to fix the manufacturing operations. We need to, after that, sequencing the manufacturing operations. We are going to see the one of the advantages, one of the application of the gear making proposal, how to apply the routing procedure for gear making. We will go for that. So before that, we need to understanding the procedure, routing procedure. So after the complete analysis of the product, so we need to maintain the sufficient material, we need to maintain the sufficient quality and quantity of the material, the production. Then third step will be production. We need to fix the manufacturing operations, sequence of operations. So we need to fix the manufacturing operations and their sequence. So the detailed production procedure is then scheduled, planned. So the information required for the derived from technical experience and by analyzing the machine capacity. We need to fix the manufacturing operations and their sequence. So after the planning also done, manufacturing operation, production plan, detailed production procedure. So it will be the manufacturing operation and their sequence planned. After that, we need to estimate determining the size of the batch, the number of units to be manufactured in any one lot. So we are determining the lot size. The fourth step will be determining the lot size. The fourth one will be determining the lot size. The routing procedure. So first we need to analyze the product. Then second step will be we need to maintain the sufficient level of inventory. That means quality and quantity of the material, we need to maintain the sufficient level of inventory. Then after that, we need to fix the machinery, manufacturing operations and their sequence. So after that, we need to the fourth step of the procedure of the routing, that is about to determining the lot size. So how much quantity we are going to produce, how much quantity we are going to manufacture in any one lot size. Determine the size of the batch, number of units to be manufactured. Determine the size of the batch, the number of units to be manufactured in any one lot should be decided. This is done concerning customer orders. The necessary provision should also be made for rejections during the production process. So for example, if we need to estimate the rejections, also, then necessary provision should also be considered for the rejection during the process. So for example, I am preparing 1,000 components. We need to produce. So roughly estimating 20 components will be rejected. So we need to produce 120 or 130 components we are going to produce. So rejection components will be estimated. So determining the lot size, we need to estimate. So first one, determine we need to analyze a complete analysis of the product, maintain required material, sufficient level of inventory, we need to fix the manufacturing operations and their sequence. That is the third step. So fourth step will be determining the lot size. Then we need to estimate the scrap also, the fifth point. So rejections, we need to estimate the rejections, estimating the margins of scrap. So the amount of scrap in each lot should be estimated. Generally a scrap margin between 2 to 5% of the production. So we need to estimate the rejection, how many components will be rejected. So while producing, while production, after dispatching, whatever it may be, we need to estimate the rejection of the component scrap. We need to estimate the scrap. So the scrap will be, the margin of the scrap is between 2 to 5% of the production. That is the fifth step. After that, analyzing the production cost. So we need to estimate the production cost. So the routing means sequence of operations. Routing means, so we need to estimate the path of the work, sequence of operations. So the sixth step will be analyzing the production cost, estimating the cost. Manufactured goods is actually the function of costing department. So it will be referring the costing department. However, the routing section provides the necessary data to costing the department that enables it to analyze the production cost. So we need to estimate how the raw material cost, and so we need to understanding the raw materials cost and process cost. So analyzing the product cost, estimating the cost of the manufactured goods is actually a function of the costing department. However, the routing section provides the necessary data to costing the department to enables to analyze the production cost. So in the even routing also, we need to estimate the production cost. Then seventh point, or seventh procedure, or seventh step in the routing procedure, prepare production control forms. Production control forms such as job card, inspection card, tool tickets, etc. So it should be prepared. So these forms should contain complete information for the effective routing. So we need to prepare production control forms like a job card, inspection card, tool tickets. So this will be prepared. So these forms should contain complete information for the effective routing. Then in the last step, we need to prepare route sheet. Route sheet is prepared on a production control form. It shows the part number, description of the part, and the material required. So in the route sheet, part number, description of the part, and the material required. So it is prepared by the route clerk. So a separate route sheet is required for each part of the customer order. So if the order will be different, the route sheet also will be different. So these are the steps or procedure in the routing procedure. So first step will be analyze the product, make or buy decision. Some of the products will be produced in the organizations, or some components will be purchased from the outside. So during the busy period, many parts are purchased from the outside. So it also depends on the cost, relative cost. Then we need to estimate what are the required materials. So we should maintain optimum level of inventory or stock. Then after the second step, the next step will be fixing the manufacturing operations and their sequence. Then we need to determine the lot size, estimating the scrap, estimation the margin of scrap, analyze the production cost. So we need to estimate the raw material cost and the relative cost, processing cost. All costs should be estimated. Then prepare the production control forms. After the last step, preparing the route sheet. So we are going to see in that inspection card, tools ticket, job card. Then we are going to see the route sheet also. So this is about route card. So the route sheet, so the following description will be there: material, hardness, due date, part drying, operation. So we are going to see one of the example of the route sheet. So for example, so route sheet, it is also called as a route card. It is the manufacturing operation and the desired sequence along with the machines associated with each operation. So for example, we are going to prepare one gear. We are going to manufacture a gear. So for that gear operation, so the list of manufacturing operation is decided. Fix the manufacturing operations and their sequence along with which type of machines we are going to use. For each operation, which type of machines we are going to use. So it also indicates the department in which the operation is to be done, and the part will go for the next operation. So the route sheets also indicates the department in which operation is to be done, and the part will go for the next operation. It also consists of information such as part name, part number, and product number. So it gives the information about the material specification and cutting tools, jigs, fixtures, and necessary devices for each operation. So the route sheets, it gives the information for specifically, so for material specification and cutting, so what are the tools required, which type of jigs and fixtures we are going to use, so the necessary devices for each and every operations. So this is one of the example of the route sheet. For example, we need to prepare gear. So first we have sawing then we are description, the power hacksaw, we are going to use a power hacksaw. So then time, so here we have a time, operation, and resource. So which type of operation, fix the manufacturing operations, then it will be time, how much time will be starting and how much time it will be taking. Then operational time, operation set of time, operation time will be calculated. Then which type of machines we are going to use. So for rough milling machine, then gear cutting will be done by using milling machines. The usually gears, helical or spall gears will be made by using milling machines. So that, and which type, first we need to estimate the casting procedure. So after that sawing, after that we are going to use milling machine, rough milling, right? So after the rough milling we are going to use finishing on the milling machine. So after the milling machine, so it will be going for drilling, boring, reaming, tapping. So so we need to find the sequence of operations. So first casting, then after the cutting, then first we are going to for the milling operation, then after the rough milling that will be goes to the finishing of the milling machine, then it will be going to another department, another machine. So that is about here we have a vertical machining center, that resource of the machine, that is about vertical machining center. So in that vertical machining center we are drilling operation will be done. After the drilling, we need to enlarge that hole, that boring operation will be done. After that reaming, finishing the already existed hole will be finishing by reaming operation. Then we giving the tapping, internal threading will be done. Like that, after that we have a surface grinding. So here we need to find the sequence of operations. So we need to fix the manufacturing operations and their sequence. So the route sheet gives the manufacturing operations and then there is a decided sequence along with the machines associated within each operation. So the route sheets, it lists the manufacturing operations and the decided sequence along with the machines associated within each operations. It will give the associated within each operation. So first we have casting, after that sawing, then rough milling and finished milling by using milling machine. After the milling machine, it will be going to that operation, that will going to that the work component will be going to the vertical machining center. So it will be taking 120 minutes. So that in that vertical milling center, the operations will be drilling, boring, reaming, tapping. After that the surface grinder, that work will be the resource, the machine will be different, that is about surface grinder, R1, R2, R3. Then we have a R4, room number 4 maybe. After that the resource of the machine is a surface grinder. So internally finishing, grinding means internally finishing by using surface grinder. Then last operation will be final inspection. So inspection, the resource will be inspection bench. After the completion, we need to inspect that component, whether the component will be acceptable or not. So the sequence of operations, the route sheet also gives complete details, complete manufacturing operations, decided sequence along with the machines associated with in each operations. So routing means sequence of the work path in the sequencing manner. Work path, it will be sequencing manner. So routing can be defined as the process of deciding a path of the work and the sequence of operation. I hope you are understanding the concept of routing and its steps involved or factors involved in the routing first. We need to estimate the complete estimation of the product. We need the steps involved. First one is we need to estimate the complete analysis, determine what to manufacture and where to purchase, make or buy decisions. After the product analysis, we need to maintain sufficient level of inventory, fix the manufacturing operations and their sequence, then determining the lot size, estimation the margin of scrap, analyze the product cost. Then we need to prepare the route sheet, separate route sheet for each operations. These are the steps involved in the routing procedure. I hope you are understanding the concept of routing procedure.